Hey guys, this is Booligan with Airsoft Retreat, BooliganAirsoft.com, and Airsoft Insider Magazine. You probably don't recognize this gun from the last time that you saw it because a lot has changed on it. But this is my VFC VR16 from Jag Precision. Now you may recall previously we did a full review on this gun in stock form, and then we later added the Umbrella Core AEG motor grip, which, if you may recall, I wasn't too pleased with the fact that it's at a radically different angle than the real one, but I understand why they had to do it because it is an AEG. You gotta put a motor in there, the motor's gotta be at the right angle. I also installed the Madbull Strike Industries Cobra Fang trigger guard, which helps for quick reloads because it acts as kind of a little like bump point. Now, we needed a we needed a rail for this gun. I had an outer barrel. It's an M16 really thick outer barrel that I chopped the end off, chopped about 1.5 inches off, so you got about an 18.5 inch, 19 inch barrel that's set up as sort of a target bull barrel, if you will. The rail that we ended up going with is from Madbull, and it is the PWS DI 15-inch Keymod rail. It is 15 inches long. It's the longest rail that I could find that wasn't like a big fat Olympic Arms tubular handguard one. I think you can get those up to like 18 inches, which is just stupid. 15 inches is clearly more rational for reasons. I don't know what those reasons are, but clearly it's the better choice. One thing to note, the Keymod on this does appear to be compatible with real Keymod parts. There is, to my understanding, I guess, some confusion about airsoft Keymod versus real steel Keymod. I guess some airsoft Keymod stuff won't fit on real rails, some real stuff won't fit on airsoft rails. This appears to be made correctly to correct Keymod specs, and as such I've got a Strike Industries, the real company, not the airsoft subsidiary brought in by Madbull, but a real rail that I have mounted to a quick folding bipod, and the thing fits on there perfectly, tightens down with no problems. I've also tried it with hand stops, and it works fine. Unfortunately, that's the extent of my Keymod accessories at this point, and clearly I need to up the Keymod in my life. So, if you have a really long outer barrel, and you want a really long rail, this is a fantastic option. If you don't have that long of a barrel, there are several lengths of the PWS rail available, and they all mount very nicely on the gun. There's a collar that you screw onto the receiver, and then you place your inner barrel in, or excuse me, your outer barrel, and then you have a little ring that you tighten down, and it's got little holes around it that you use to tighten. It was very easy to install, and then you just, once that's in place, your barrel's rock solid, and you just slide the rail over and mount it in place with these 6 screws and 2 hex set screws that just keep it from rotating. Not that it would be able to rotate because it's got 2 huge anti-rotation lugs that slide over your receiver. Now the bad with the rail, I don't know if this will show up, there is a slight height difference, maybe 1 millimeter or so, between the VFC upper receiver and the Madbull rail. And unfortunately this is something that I see pretty often on airsoft rails. A lot of Madbull rails have this problem too, where they just sit at different heights than the airsoft receivers. Now, this isn't necessarily a Madbull problem. A big part of this problem is that there is no commonality between different airsoft manufacturers. Real manufacturers have to work within much tighter tolerances, and they have much higher standards that they have to make their parts to. Airsoft manufacturers don't, and a lot of times you will have mismatched heights and things like that. Like on my Honey Badger type build, this Madbull rail is about 1 millimeter lower than this classic Army rail. On this VFC build, the Madbull rail is again about 1 millimeter higher than the VFC upper rail. But on my WE Katana build, that Troy rail is pretty much right on with the WE upper receiver. So it's not so much a Madbull problem as much as it is an airsoft problem, and you just need to know that regardless of which rail you buy, you may have some slight size differences between your receiver and the rail, just because of the nature of airsoft. But overall, it free floats very well. The barrel is very solid in there. It doesn't touch anything. It is truly free floated, and you've got plenty of rail estate, if you will, for mounting Keymod accessories. It does not include any Keymod rails or panels or anything like that. So depending on what you want to mount, you will have to add your own. We're still going to be taking a look at some of the performance things with this gun. Probably going to upgrade it to shoot at a higher velocity and put a bit better barrel in it. Right now we have a Madbull 363mm inner barrel, which only goes to about here or so. It's not too bad. It's better than the CQB length one that was in there. But we'll see how this thing shoots a little bit later on, and maybe do another video on some performance upgrades for this gun. So again, many thanks to Madbull Airsoft for sending this rail over for us to install and test out. I am very pleased with the rail, aside from that one little small quibble with the fact that it doesn't line up properly with the top rail on my upper receiver. Be sure to check out my full review on this original gun at Booligan Airsoft and Airsoft Retreat, and as always, thanks for watching.